the mother would normally come down to our own place in Mobido with him, carry him.
Around 81, a gentleman called Dapo joined us in a lorry. And we're always fond of going to Ife, to parties around that time. So on one of those occasions, we had to go to Ife. And I met Dapo. I actually went to the same party together, and at the end of the party, we had to crash over at his place. He was staying in quarters then.
I didn't meet him first in politics. If I remember quite well, my first meeting with him was there about 1996.
Somebody I've known since he was born. But I became close to him when he became a young man recognizable, because after his birth, he followed his parents to various places because his parents are teachers.
We've been friends for over 40 years. We met, I think, shortly before he joined us in Ife. I was already at the University of Ife, and we became friends. And I was his best man, he was my best man.
Well, I've known His Excellency Prince Dapo Abiodun for many years, upward of 15, thereabouts.
I came to know His Excellency during his campaign for the senatorial ticket of Ogun East Senatorial District in 2015.
I met the governor for the first time on the purpose of politics.
I first met His Excellency late 2018 when I had put my name up as one of the people who were interested in running as his running mate, the gubernatorial candidate of Ogun State.
He's an extremely passionate person about anything that he does, which can make him very intense and sometimes misunderstood. But he's very, very passionate and very expressive, very deep in the things that he does. He never does anything in a hurry.
I've always known about him for about 20 years now. Not that I met with him then, but I've always known of him.
So I've known Prince Dapo Abiodun, the governor of Ogun State, for, gosh, several years now, well over, I would say, almost 25, 30 years, if not more. We met in Atlanta, Georgia, where we were both residing and working. We met socially. We'd known of each other, obviously, prior to that time, because he was obviously here in Nigeria, as I was as well. And we became friends. Not just him and I, but our two wives became very, very close. Practically all his kids, starting from Lamisa, his first daughter, was born into our hands in Atlanta. And we did a lot together, socially and even business-wise. And so we've been pretty close for a number of years, and we've become more or less, I would say, family friends. The two families, our children, our wives, and of course, him and I.
I met Governor Dapo Abiodun as a very successful, dynamic, and hard-working businessman in the first place, and with a great attribute for leadership. And as a politician, we happened to meet in a party, APC, and decided to work together, believing in the same progressive.
I know the governor more in the political arena We came in contact many decades ago in the political terrain, and we have had a very cordial relationship since then.
Born at Dapo, Abiodun in Shagamu on the 29th of May 1960 into the royal family of Dr. Emmanuel and Victoria Abiodun of Iperuremo and Boluboye family, he is the first child of 4 children and both parents teachers.
Prince Dapo Abiodun is from a real family from Iperu and from a well-educated family. His father is a doctor and the mother a teacher, and was well brought up, disciplined, and is still going.
There are 2 people in this town that we all attest to their character, that they are not controversial. His father is one of them.
Young Dapo's education followed what can be tagged the movement pattern of his parents, who served in different parts of the then Western region. He was at Christ School, Ado-Ekiti in 1972, St. Joseph's College, Ondo in 1977, and later Ondo High School in 1978. He went on to the prestigious University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, to study civil engineering, but later transferred to Kennesaw State University, Atlanta, Georgia, United States of America, graduating with a BBA in accounting in 1986. His working career started out at Glock Incorporation, United States of America, as cost accountant between 1989 and 1991, returning to Nigeria and focusing on entrepreneurship concerns, establishing a few companies.
From day one, he's always tried to be on his own. He wants to be an achiever. He's an hard worker and very, very intelligent. He's not a man of many words, but he knows what he wants.
These companies include Hayden Petroleum Limited, an indigenous player in the oil and gas industry, First Power Limited, Cresta Hydrocarbons Limited, as well as Alamnet and Innovative Ventures.
He's been an astute businessman, and I think I engaged one of his companies at that time to install some security systems in my house. It was such a wonderful system that was installed. It was an alarm system, and it was already configured to trigger alarm in the next police station, even at that time. It was his company that did that job. The system is still working till now, some 20-something years later.
I was in banking until when this republic started, the Third Republic. I knew him as a very astute businessman who caught his teeth very early, in business at very early stage. And he was one of the front runners in the oil and gas industry.
Prince Dapo Abiodun is a boardroom guru with a vast wealth of experience in corporate governance and finance. He was at different times member of the presidential think tank set up by President Olusegun Obasanjo in 2001, Chairman Oil and Gas Committee of Ogun State in 2009, Chairman Dapo and Petroleum Product Marketers Association DAPMA from 2012 to 2019, as well as Chairman Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, in 2018. He is a recipient of the National Award of Member of the Order of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, MFR, in 2014. A very calm and silent achiever, Prince Dapo Abiodun was also awarded a Doctor of Science in Business Development and Administration, honoris causa, by the Adeleke University, Ede, Osun State, and Doctor of Finance, honoris causa, by the Ekiti State University, Ado-Ekiti, for his positive and immense contributions to the development of the nation and humanity. His political antecedents started over 2 decades ago when he contested and won the Ogun East senatorial seat in 1993 on the platform of the defunct United Nigeria Congress Party, UNCP, emerging as the youngest senator-elect in the country. That victory was, however, truncated with the political developments of the Third Republic.
Beneath that humility lies a strong will, a determination to be focused and not to be distracted.
He believed in giving back to the community, giving back to the people.
Not one to be easily put off with developments, he joined the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in 1999 as a founding member, contesting for the governorship ticket in 2002. This attempt was not to be, but undaunted, he ran for the Ogun East senatorial seat again in 2015 as the flag bearer of the All Progressives Congress.
He's come a long way. He started quite early the political process, and he's also quite a tough politician.
Evident that here is a man committed to serving his people, this ruggedly handsome individual made a comeback in 2018, contesting for the governorship tickets of the All Progressives Congress, APC, and winning in what can be arguably the most celebrated governorship contest in the 2019 general elections.
It was a very difficult election that he has to face in Ogun State. And he really worked hard, relentlessly to earn the confidence and the trust of the people of Ogun State. And he won the election.
The governorship election that produced Prince Dapo Abiodun, we had 4 police commissioners in Ogun State for that election. Secondly, Ogun State was picked by the Nigerian police authorities as the headquarters, the base for the operation in the southwest during that election. The Department of State Security picked Ogun State as the base for their operations for that election. It has never happened before, the kind of congratulatory messages that greeted that election from his opponents. And we thank God today that opponents of yesterday we are in the same party.
Happily married to his childhood sweetheart, Bamidele Ne Oduye, they are blessed with wonderful children.
My lonely days are over, and life seems like a song. Oh, yeah, at last. Woo.
Who is Prince Dapo Abiodun to family, friends, and associates?
He's a nice young man.
My dad he's one of his own. I think that's the simplest way I can put it. He's one of his own. He's not really, because I've come across a lot of people in my life, a lot of older figures in my life, and there's nobody that I can say is close to the type of person that he is. He's a very individual person. He's someone that chases things that, if he believes he wants something, or if he wants something, he's going to chase it, and eventually he's going to get it. So he's someone that gives people a lot of motivation. He's someone that I mean, when you watch things that he's done, it encourages you to want to do your own thing just like it, but at the same time be an individual. Yeah, he's a very, very experienced man, I would say.
So I'll give an example of one of the weird things that he's done in the past, which is very, very typical of him. When one of our sons turned 3, I was in England with the children on holiday, and he likes to give surprises, even though he doesn't like to be surprised. He came to surprise us, and he had ordered a cake, all iced and decorated, and he actually carried the cake on the plane and brought it to meet us in the house. I don't know many men that would do that. That's how he is. He's also very, very, very particular about what he likes. He's a very detailed person. He's the one that does the decorations in the house. I leave it totally and absolutely to him because he knows what he likes. That's not my neck of the woods. It's supposed to be my neck of the woods, but it's not because he overtakes me in that area. So I totally, absolutely leave it to him. And I always trust that whatever it is that he does is going to be absolutely perfect. So when people come and they say, "Oh, well done, where did you get this?" I'll be like, "Oh, it's Kimo. It's the one that did it too."
I think one of the most important things that we take away from him is his Omoluabi character that he showed throughout the campaign period. And that he's somebody who has a very deep insight, the way he looks through things and analyzes things. At the end of the day, we all have different styles, but by the time we get to the end of the issue, I always look back and say, well, yeah, I can't fault the way he's done this.
The biggest character that I see in him is that he's personable. He gets to be in your space quickly without irritating your space. You like to be in his company. That is the initial impression when you are coming into contact with him. So that gets you in. But what sustains the relationship is the empathy with which he shows to people, to issues around you. He's one of the people that I know that if you genuinely bring a case, even while we're in the business world, he will follow through and he will give you a feedback that I'm following through on yourself, on these issues. How he has the energy to do it, I don't know. So that is why there's so much of love and empathy for him. And in that wise, everybody also feels that, look, if it is my time to sacrifice for him the way he had sacrificed for me, I don't think it's too much. I used to think that I was a very generous man until I met him and I saw his level of generosity far, far exceeding or surpassing what I thought was normal.
He knows what he wants. And in getting what he wants, knowing fully well that he knew what he wanted, he does it well. Both work-wise, play-wise, that's socially, even family.
A man with a kind heart, a gentleman, what the Yoruba will call Omoluabi.
He's very prayerful. He's a pastor of a regime. Apart from that, we all grew up from Anglican. So he's somebody that believes in. He's an achiever.
You can take a sword to the bank If you ask him for something, if it is something he will do, he will tell you, no problem. If he does not come back to you within the next 3-4 weeks, don't think he has forgotten. He has not forgotten. He will come back, you will be surprised when he will do the thing. But if it's something he will not do, he will tell you, we will talk about it later. If he tells you, we will talk about it later, forget it. As the head of the family, I'm proud of him.
He's a determined person, and a number of people tend to underestimate him because of his simple look. He's quite determined. He's very, very hardworking, and I'm expecting that he's going to give a good account of himself as governor of Ogun State.
He's one of the strongest people we have. When I used to be the vice chairman when he was chairman, so I work closely with him, and he has a big passion for the people, and I know that whatever he does here is going to be just to make life much better for the people of Ogun State. Governors from the private sector, I know from experience, from what we've seen in Nigeria, they do very well. So we know that the case of Ogun State will not be different. It will even be better because you have somebody who is a technocrat, who's been in business and built a business from scratch.
Dapo is someone you could always rely on. He's dependable. He is either your friend or he's not. But if he's your friend, you can always trust and rely on him, and he'll go the extra mile when he needs to for a good friend, or for a friend, let's say. When it takes everything that comes his way in terms of vision, is a project. For example, the governorship project that just became a reality a year ago was a project of, I would say, maybe close to 20 years. If he wants something, he's a go-getter, he goes for it.
First, I think I would say that he's a child of destiny. There's something about him that has been destined that he was going to run that state. Given the fact that, he had indicated a long time ago, and more recently, he wanted to become a senator, and even more recently, now coming back to become a governor. And we all know all of the things that happen.
Dapo is like an onion, you have to peel off the layers to get to the core. And by the time you peel off the layers, and in peeling off the layers, every step of the way, you keep discovering, a different side to him. So he's a man of many parts. But by the time you get to the core, you find that Dapo is actually a very simple guy. One thing I can say for sure is that he's a go-getter. He's a man who makes a decision on what he wants to do, and until he gets it done, he doesn't relent. And that's been the story of his life, for those who know him very well.
I find him to be visionary, committed, and highly focused. Dapo Abiodun is a very, very dynamic leader with great attributes, particularly dependable character.
He's a cool-headed person, cultured, and somebody that I believe has serious fear of God. I know he's a good Christian.
As this focused, calm, and enterprising gentleman celebrates his Diamond Jubilee, he is also celebrating 365 days as the 5th democratically elected governor of Ogun State, ensuring good governance, accountability, fair play, and a state safe for investors and its people. Those who have worked with him closely this past year have this to say.
We have had to deal with so many issues since I became the head of service. That shows that he's truly a man that fears God. I will start with the fact that when he came on board as the governor of Ogun State, we had the issues of the officers that were taken through ASCON at the twilight of the last administration. And having considered so many reports and some objections here and there, he took it upon himself to reabsorb all the work, all those officers, and there were over 1,000. Not only those who came in through ASCON, the teachers also had some recruitment, about 578. He took all in. I didn't stop at that. He actually paid all those officers from the time they assumed office. And by the time they were being paid, some of them had got 9 months in arrears. So it takes a person with a very large heart to have done that. He has also taken care of our pensioners by their regular monthly payment. In addition, he also approved that the gratuity of our pensioners should be based on all allowances. So those who had collected theirs based on the BRT, he has approved that all those allowances should be paid. So this is also a plus to his administration.
Well, I would describe him as someone who is deliberate, who is passionate, who examines things from different dimensions, who listens carefully, distills various suggestions and advices, very focused on the outcome and objectives, could also be very flexible in his method as the occasion demands, but overall is someone who knows and is very conscious that he has a task, and that is to lead the effort to build the future of our state together.
You have a big heart. When you say somebody has a big heart, you know, and always ready to forgive and move forward. It's not an attribute that most people have. At least that's one thing that I've come to realize more that was not there when we were just casually meeting at socials or just say a couple, but working together, I say. And once that is sustained, you know that this is not pretense. This is who this person is. When you flip-flop, today you are a good man, tomorrow you are not, but it's not consistent. So with what measure will you be dealt with? I think that's one of the things that irritates him, to my understanding. Is a very respectable person. And sometimes when you speak in a westernized way, away from the traditional way of courtesy, of respecting elders, he will call you behind and say, you know what, even though that man is coming to look for something from you, I think you should just mellow with him. And so, I mean, I've seen him say that a couple of times to people, and I know it's genuine. So that issue of respecting people is very core to him, and I think that also is an outstanding attribute for him.
There are 3 special traits I discovered in Mr. Governor. 1, I see him as a person that fears God, and he allowed that to direct the affairs of the state, as he has always been saying it to the people, that if not for God, he wouldn't have been governor. And that is the truth. Secondly, I noticed that he's very, very passionate about working for the state, the progress of the state in particular. Thirdly, I realize he's a very thorough man. He looks at issues holistically before taking decision in the best interest of the state. Those are the 3 things I noticed in the governor, which I believe if he continues like that, well, the sky will just be the limit for the advancement of the state.
The challenges of the job, they change from day to day. And when you're in campaign, you have some ideals, and then you have the reality of the job when you get into it. And I think that the way that he has adapted to the different challenges is very impressive, and I'm in awe of it sometimes. For instance, the way that His Excellency has managed the COVID-19 situation in Ogun State is exemplary for a state that has had to self-fund itself and had to look inward to see what we can do in this state. It's without a doubt something that we have to be proud that we have him as our governor at this time. He's somebody that is very quick to see what people's strengths are. And he has worked with my strengths, which is something that I'm very happy about. The things that I'm good at, he has given me a free hand to work on them. And he hasn't, he doesn't stereotype people. He hasn't stereotyped me at any time. But he has seen that, you know what, my deputy governor has these skills, and he has given me the ability to do that. So I'm very glad that he has allowed me to be his deputy governor.
At 60, there are expectedly several birthday wishes from those who know him.
God that has preserved all of us till 60 will take us beyond and more. He's where he is because his gut feeling brought him there and the grace of God. I believe that he has a mission and he will, by God's grace, fulfill that purpose. I pray that he should not be clouded by the powers of the office, but by the generosity of the electorate that brought him there. I also wish him that whatever the office brings, may he have a good life after the end of his tenure.
And I wish him well in life, good health, long life.
So my prayer and wishes for him are that destiny, which everybody knows is a good destiny that God has given to him, will not be changed by any evil forces, that he will continue to grow in strength, in wisdom.
Traditionally, this is a milestone that you mark with a lot of pomp and pageantry. I'll advise him not to stop serving God, not to stop fearing God, not to stop loving God, because God has made his dream a reality.
And I pray for him that God will give him strength and wisdom that he can use to carry on with the remaining of his life.
At 60, what he might have lost in terms of speed, he will have gained in terms of experience. And you can see the way he is handling matters very, very maturely, painstakingly, taking his time. I wish him the very best.
And the Bible tells us that when the righteous rule, the people rejoice. So as he makes people happy, make us happy in the civil service, so the Lord will also make his life to be filled with joy.
Well, at 60, like a diamond, I wish him strength. I wish him timeless wisdom, enablement, vigor, and vitality to discharge his duties as a governor of our state.
There's a mantra in the state, building our future together. I can't find anything more appropriate at this time for him to say there are many futures that is being built, anchored by him. So as we lean on him, he's leaning on us as well to build our future together. I'll just say that on your birthday, God will continue to raise your hand up so that that can inspire many people to join you and build good future together for all of us and everybody around you.
I wish him a very happy birthday. I pray that the Lord will give him strength and wisdom to steer the ship of Ogun State. I pray that the Lord will continue to be with him. He will grant him long life with sound mind and good health. And on behalf of all the honorable judges of Ogun State, the magistrates and staff of Ogun State Judiciary, I wish His Excellency Prince Dr. Dapo Abiodun, MFR, a very happy birthday.
Let me wish him all the best he wishes himself, but particularly, I wish him the grace of God to rule the people of Ogun State with good governance and fear of God that I claim he has.
I'd like to congratulate him on that milestone. Unfortunately, COVID has eroded all our plans because we wanted to celebrate him big time. You know, he deserves it, he has earned it, and I hope that after COVID, we will still be able to celebrate him and give him a very good birthday party. It was also going to coincide with our first year in office, so it was a double celebration, an unprecedented double celebration. I don't think anybody has had that, and probably nobody else will ever have that again in this country. So we still cannot take that away from him. It will be 1 year in office. He's done very well in that 1 year. And despite, again, like I said, the COVID bump in the road, we still have a lot to show for ourselves, our achievements, and our plans.
60 more teachers, probably. And more and more and more. And what more would I wish for him? Is more success in everything that he wants to do and all his goals, because he has a lot of goals. He has a lot of things that he wants to achieve, and I feel like he's going to get there. So I know that's something I do wish for him. I wish that he does succeed in everything that he wants to do, and I wish for more growth.
You know, life does not start at 40 or 50 again. It starts at 60. So I'm sure the birthday boy is just starting life now, you know, at 60. I mean, to wish him good health, to wish him a very sound mind, to continue to wish him, you know, the very, very best as a family man first, which is important, you know, but more importantly, as a leader in Ogun State now, for him to have the strength, to have the ability, the capability to take Ogun State to an enviable position.
I wish Dapo a happy birthday at 60. I wish him continued blessings, God's protection, God's mercy over his life, which God has been having over his life for many years, and continued mercy over his life. I wish him greater success. If there's any such thing, he's a very successful man, but I wish him greater success. I wish him everything that he wishes himself, and if it's possible, even more than he wishes himself. I always say, and I will say again, that may the worst, or the best days of his past be the worst days of his future. And I wish him a very, 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 very happy birthday.
For him, it's unique. He's about to celebrate his first year as the governor of Ogun State. For the 60th birthday, I wish him the best in good health, in good spirit, and best energy to serve the people of Ogun State and serve Nigeria.
My love, my prayer, my affection for him is to say that God will continue to make him more successful. God will give him the wisdom to attain greater height, double the height that I have ever attained in my life. God will continue to guide him. I wish him the best of everything in life.
I wish you, Dapo, a very, very happy birthday. More prosperous years in good health. I pray that God will continue to grant you the enablement to fulfill your work as the governor of Ogun State. He will grant you wisdom. He will grant you favor with himself and with the people of Ogun State. And I pray that at the end of your tenure, by the grace of God, you will look back and you will do what you did in the beginning, which is You gave glory, you gave honor, and you gave all adoration to God Almighty. Happy birthday, my dear darling husband.
I know you very well, in and out. And I can tell you that Ogun State is very lucky to have him at this particular time. I know he's a left-headed person, very enterprising, very accommodating, and he's a philanthropist. He's willing to assist and to help. Therefore, all these are reflecting in his administration. You see, there's absolute peace in the state, there's cooperation, there's everything you can think of. That is Governor Dapo Abiodun for you.
I have seen that power has not changed him, and I'm happy. I belong to that school of thought. I just wish him the very best, and I'm sure that if he continues on this path, the sky definitely is the limit.
60 is a major milestone in the life of a person. You become a senior citizen on that occasion, and also you can look back, take proper assessment of what you have done, and reposition yourself for the future. My prayer for him is that he had not seen anything yet, that what he has ahead of him will be greater than what he has passed. So we wish him very many happy returns of the day.
On behalf of my paramount ruler, Ọba Kẹ́hìndé Gbadewole Olúgbénlé Aṣáde Agúnlóyè the Fourth, the Olu of Ilaro and paramount ruler of Yewa, Your Excellency, the Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, MFR, we are wishing you happy 60th birthday. And we are praying for you that God Almighty in His infinite mercy will be with you. As you have started well, you will end well. Happy birthday, our amiable governor. God bless you tremendously.
60 hearty cheers, Your Excellency.